The gallery smelled of fresh paint and desperation. Maya wiped her hands on jeans stained with charcoal, staring at the eviction notice taped to the studio door. 72 hours. 3 days to conjure rent money from thin air. Her phone lit up with a single text from an unknown sender: emergency restoration job. Historic estate. Cash payment. Tonight only. The address led to iron gates twisted with ivy, a mansion that seemed to breathe in the fog. Maya pressed the intercom. "You're late." The voice crackled through static, masculine and sharp. "I'm exactly on time." Silence. Then the gates groaned open. He stood in the doorway backlit by chandeliers that cast fractured light across marble floors. Tall, rigid posture, face half hidden in shadow. When he stepped forward, Maya saw the scar cutting through his left eyebrow, the expensive watch on his wrist, the exhaustion carved into features too young for such weight. "You restore paintings?" His eyes swept over her paint-streaked clothes with obvious doubt. "I bring dying things back to life." Maya lifted her chin. "That's what you need, isn't it?" Something dangerous flickered across his face. "Follow me." The portrait hung in a library thick with leather and old secrets. A woman in blue silk, her smile frozen in oil and time. But fire had claimed the bottom third, leaving charred canvas and ash. "My mother." His voice went flat. "The fire was 6 months ago. Every restoration expert says it's impossible." Maya circled the painting, studying brush strokes and burn patterns. "Why do you want it saved?" "Because some things refuse to stay buried." She turned to find him closer than before, close enough to see gold flecks in dark eyes, close enough to smell smoke clinging to his shirt collar. "I need 3 weeks. Full access to this room. And double whatever you plan to pay." His jaw tightened. "You have 2 weeks. Name your price." 20,000. "Done." He extended his hand. Elias Crane. His palm was warm, calloused in unexpected places. Maya felt electricity race up her arm. "The money's wired tonight. Half now, half when you finish." Elias pulled back first, shoving both hands in his pockets. "Nobody enters this room except you and me. Nobody knows you're here." "Why all the secrecy?" "Because the fire that destroyed this painting?" His eyes locked onto hers, cold and burning simultaneously. "I'm the one who started it." The confession hung between them like smoke. Maya's heart hammered against her ribs. She should leave. Run. Call someone. Instead, she heard herself whisper, "Show me where you keep your supplies." Elias smiled, and it was the saddest thing she'd ever seen. Maya worked under lamplight while rain hammered the windows. Elias appeared each night at midnight, carrying coffee that tasted like burnt caramel, watching her hands move across damaged canvas with an intensity that made her skin prickle. "You never asked why I burned it." His voice cut through the silence on the 4th night. Her brush paused mid-stroke. "People destroy things for 1,000 reasons. Most of them hurt too much to say out loud." She lied. The words fell heavy as stones. "My mother. About everything. Who my father was. Where the money came from. The night I found the truth, I stood in this room and watched it all burn." Maya set down her brush, turning to face him. He stood by the window, silhouette dark against rain-streaked glass. "And now you want her back?" "I want to stop seeing her face every time I close my eyes." Elias pressed his forehead against the cold window. "Maybe if I fix what I broke, the guilt will let me sleep." She crossed to him slowly, careful, like approaching a wounded animal. "Guilt doesn't work that way." "How would you know?" "Because I killed someone too." The confession tore out of her before she could stop it. Elias spun around, eyes wide. Maya's hands shook. "A car accident." 2 years ago. I was texting. Ran a red light. The other driver didn't make it. Her voice cracked. I paint because it's the only time my hands stop shaking. The only time I forget that I erased someone's entire future in 3 seconds. Maya. Her name in his mouth sounded like absolution. Don't. She backed away. Don't look at me like I'm not a monster. Then stop looking at me like I am one. The space between them crackled with something raw and reckless. Elias reached out, fingertips brushing her jaw, tilting her face up. His thumb traced the track of a tear she hadn't felt fall. We're both ghosts haunting our own lives, he whispered. Maya's breath caught. Maybe ghosts aren't meant to be saved. Maybe they're only meant to save each other. When his lips met hers, it tasted like smoke and second chances, desperate and doomed and entirely inevitable. Her fingers tangled in his hair, his hands spanning her waist, pulling her against him like she was oxygen and he was drowning. The kiss broke with gasped breaths and thundering hearts. This is a mistake, Maya said against his mouth. I've made worse. Elias kissed her again, slower, deeper, until the world narrowed to just this, two broken people trying to become whole. Hours later, wrapped in sheets that smelled like cedar, Maya traced the scar through his eyebrow. Where did you get this? My brother. We fought over the inheritance after our mother died. He wanted to sell everything. I wanted to burn it all down. Elias caught her hand, pressing a kiss to her palm. He won. Took the company, the accounts, left me with this house and ghosts. Do you miss him? Every day. His voice went rough. Even though he destroyed me. Maya's phone buzzed on the nightstand. She ignored it. It buzzed again. And again. Finally, she grabbed it. 7 missed calls from an unknown number. 1 voicemail. Elias watched her face drain of color as she listened. What is it? Maya's hand trembled so violently the phone clattered to the floor. That was your brother. What? Elias Crane just offered me $50,000. Her eyes met his, filled with horror and something worse. To spy on you while I restore the painting. To find proof that you're unstable so he can have you declared incompetent and take the house. Elias went perfectly still. And what did you say? I didn't answer. But Elias. Tears spilled down her cheeks. I already took $10,000 from him. 2 weeks ago. Before I ever met you. Elias didn't move. Didn't speak. The silence stretched like a blade between them. Say something. Maya's voice broke. Get out. Elias, please, I can explain. Get out. Each word fell like a death sentence. Take your supplies. Take the money I already paid you. And never come back. I didn't know you then. Maya scrambled from the bed, pulling on clothes with shaking hands. He found me at my studio, said his brother was dangerous, unstable, that I'd be helping him get the care he needed. I was being evicted, I was desperate, I took the money, but that was before. Before you decided sleeping with me would make better leverage? The accusation hit like a fist. You know that's not what this was. I don't know anything anymore. Elias turned away, shoulders rigid. Except that I'm an idiot who actually believed someone could see past the wreckage and find something worth saving. You are worth saving. Not to you. Just to my brother's bank account. He grabbed her bag, thrust it at her. I want you gone in 5 minutes. Or I call the police and have you arrested for fraud. Maya clutched the bag to her chest, tears streaming freely now. I fell in love with you. Love? Elias laughed, sharp and bitter. You don't even know what that word means. Love doesn't come with a price tag. Neither does forgiveness, but you want it from your dead mother. The words exploded out of her. You want absolution for burning her portrait while you crucify me for one mistake made before we even met? His hand connected with the wall, plaster cracking. That's different. How? How is it different? Because she couldn't betray me anymore. Elias spun around, eyes blazing with anguish. She was already gone. But you looked me in the eyes, touched me, made me feel human again, all while planning to destroy what little I have left. I'm not planning anything. I told Marcus no. After you already took his money. After you already lied by omission every single night you spent in this house. His voice dropped to something jagged and broken. Did you report back to him? Tell him about the insomnia? The nightmares? How many of my secrets did you sell? None. I swear on everything, I gave him nothing. Your word means less than ash. Elias pointed at the door. 3 minutes. Maya grabbed her coat, her vision blurred with tears. At the threshold, she turned back one last time. The painting's almost finished. Your mother's smile, I brought it back. Every brushstroke was an apology for what I did to you, even though you didn't know it yet. I don't want apologies. I want you gone. She ran through rain that soaked her to the bone, collapsing in her car with sobs that tore from somewhere primal and raw. Her phone rang. Marcus. Did you get my message? Have you thought about my offer? Maya stared at the mansion through rain-streaked windows, seeing the library light still burning. Seeing Elias's shadow pacing like a caged animal. I need to ask you something, she said, voice hollow. The fire that damaged the painting. You told me Elias started it. But that's not the whole truth, is it? Silence on the other end. Then, what did he tell you? Answer the question, Marcus. The fire was an accident. Faulty wiring. But Elias was there when it started, and he froze. Just stood there watching it burn instead of trying to stop it. That's what makes him unstable. Or it makes him human. Maya closed her eyes. I'm out. Keep your money. All of it. I'll wire back what you already paid. You'll regret this. I can ruin you. I'm already ruined. She hung up. The eviction notice was still taped to her studio door when she returned. 72 hours had become 24. Maya slumped against the wall, too empty even to cry anymore. Her phone buzzed. A wire transfer notification. $20,000 from Elias Crane. The second half of their agreement. Below it, a text, finish the painting. You earned this. Maya's hands shook as she typed back, I don't want your money. I want your forgiveness. 3 dots appeared. Disappeared. Appeared again. Finally, come back tomorrow. One last time. Let's end this properly. Maya stared at the message, hope and dread warring in her chest. She had no idea that tomorrow would bring revelation. She had no idea that the truth about the fire would shatter everything. And she had no idea that saving Elias would require sacrificing the one thing she had left. The mansion felt different in daylight. Less haunted, more haunting. Maya found Elias in the library, staring at the portrait she'd spent 2 weeks restoring. His mother's smile lived again, warm and whole, as if fire had never touched her. It's perfect. His voice was flat, emotionless. You're incredibly talented. Thank you. They stood 3 feet apart. An ocean of hurt between them. I asked you here because you deserve the truth. Elias pulled an envelope from his jacket. About the fire. About everything. You don't owe me explanations. Yes, I do. He handed her the envelope. Read it. Inside were medical records, police reports, photographs. Maya's hands trembled as she pieced together the story written in clinical language and evidence logs. Your mother had early-onset dementia. For 3 years before she died. Elias's jaw clenched. She hid it brilliantly. Only I knew, because I lived here, watched her forget where she was, who I was, watched her relive traumas from 50 years ago like they were happening in real time. Maya's throat tightened. The fire. She started it. Knocked over a candle during an episode. I found her standing in the flames, completely calm, smiling like she'd finally found peace. His voice cracked. I tried to reach her, but the heat, the smoke, I couldn't. I just stood there frozen while she burned. Oh God, Elias. The firefighters arrived in time. Saved her. She lived another month in the hospital, not recognizing anyone, before her heart gave out. He sank into a chair, burying his face in his hands. Marcus was traveling for business. Never saw her deteriorate. Never watched her disappear piece by piece. When he came back for the funeral, he couldn't understand why I wasn't grieving the way he was. Because you'd already been grieving for years. I told him about the dementia. Showed him the diagnosis. He called me a liar. Said I was trying to rewrite history, make excuses for letting her die. Elias looked up, eyes red-rimmed. He hired investigators, found the fire report, saw that I'd been standing there when firefighters arrived. Decided I'd frozen on purpose. That I wanted her dead. Maya knelt beside his chair, taking his hands. That's insane. Is it? Some days I wonder if he's right. If part of me was relieved watching her burn because it meant the suffering would finally end. That's not murder. That's mercy, even if it came in the cruelest form. Marcus doesn't see it that way. He spent 6 months trying to prove I'm unstable, dangerous. If he succeeds, he gets everything. The house, the trust fund our mother left me, control over her legacy. Elias squeezed Maya's hands. That's why he hired you. Why he's hired 3 other people to get close to me, gather evidence. The revelation hit like ice water. There were others? A therapist who tried to get me committed based on falsified session notes. A housekeeper who planted medications in my room. A lawyer who nearly convinced me to sign power of attorney over to Marcus. His eyes searched hers. When you told me the truth last night, part of me shattered. But another part almost felt relief. Relief? Because you confessed. The others never did. They played their roles until the end. Elias cupped her face gently. You broke the pattern. You chose honesty over money. That's why I asked you back. Maya's heart thundered. What are you saying? I'm saying I believe you. I'm saying I forgive you. He leaned forward, pressing his forehead to hers. I'm saying I love you too, and I'm terrified of what that means. It means we fight. Maya kissed him softly. Together. Marcus won't stop. He'll come after you now. Let him try. They finished the portrait together that afternoon, adding final touches in comfortable silence. When the last brushstroke dried, Elias stepped back, studying his mother's resurrected smile. She would have liked you, he said quietly. Before the disease took her, she always said I needed someone stubborn enough to call me on my garbage. Maya laughed through sudden tears. I can be very stubborn. Thank God for that. The doorbell shattered the moment. Elias frowned, checking his watch. I'm not expecting anyone. Through the window, Maya saw 3 cars in the driveway. Official-looking vehicles. Her stomach dropped. Elias. The door burst open. Marcus Crane strode in flanked by 2 police officers and a woman in a business suit. Elias Crane, the woman announced, I'm Dr. Reeves, court-appointed psychiatrist. We have a warrant for emergency psychological evaluation based on credible evidence of harm to self and others. What? Elias stepped backward. This is insane. Marcus's smile was cold triumph. You left me no choice, brother. Not after what Maya told me. Maya's blood turned to ice. I told you nothing. Didn't you? Marcus pulled out his phone, playing a recording. Maya's voice filled the room. I fell in love with you, even though you're dangerous, unstable, exactly what Marcus said. That's not what I said. Maya lunged forward. That's edited. Spliced together from different conversations. Convenient excuse, Dr. Reeves said. Mr. Crane, please come with us voluntarily, or these officers will assist. Don't touch me. Elias backed toward the library. Elias, wait. Maya grabbed his arm. Don't run. That's what he wants. It makes you look guilty. I won't let him lock me away. Elias's eyes were wild, cornered. I won't lose everything because of his lies. Then let me fix this. Maya turned to Marcus, voice ringing with fury. You want proof he's stable? Fine. Test him. Evaluate him. But do it fairly, with an independent doctor, not whoever you've paid off. The warrant is already signed, Marcus said smoothly. Then I'll get a lawyer. I'll fight this evaluation. I'll testify. Maya stepped between Elias and the officers. I'll tell them everything you've done. The bribes, the fake evidence, the recordings you doctored. Your testimony means nothing. You're a convicted felon. The words detonated like a bomb. Elias stared at Maya. What? The accident, Maya whispered. Vehicular manslaughter. I served 18 months. I thought you knew. You never said. His voice held betrayal again, fresh and raw. I tried to tell you, I couldn't find the words. More lies. Marcus's smile widened. How can you trust anything she says, Elias? She's a criminal who took my money to spy on you, who's been using you from day one. That's not true. Enough. Dr. Reeves nodded to the officers. Mr. Crane, you're coming with us. Now. The officers moved forward. Elias looked at Maya one last time, and the devastation in his eyes broke something inside her that could never be repaired. I'm sorry, she whispered as they led him away. I'm so sorry. Marcus lingered in the doorway. You actually fell for him. How pathetic. Maya's hands clenched into fists. This isn't over. Yes, it is. By tomorrow, I'll have legal conservatorship. The house, the money, everything will be mine. And my unstable brother will spend the rest of his life in psychiatric care. He leaned close, voice dropping to a whisper. Thank you for making it so easy. After he left, Maya collapsed in the library, surrounded by the restored portrait, the empty coffee cups, the ghost of Elias's touch still warm on her skin. Her phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. If you want to save him, meet me at Riverside Park. Midnight. Come alone. Bring proof. Maya stared at the message, every instinct screaming trap. But she'd already lost everything that mattered. What was one more risk? The park was empty at midnight, fog rolling off the river like breath. Maya clutched her bag, inside it every piece of evidence she'd gathered in 6 frantic hours, bank records proving Marcus's bribes, emails from the other people he'd hired, audio of him admitting to falsifying the recording. A figure emerged from the mist. Not Marcus. A woman, 60-something, elegant in grief. You're Maya. Not a question. I'm Helen Reeves. The real one, not the actress my nephew paid to play psychiatrist today. Maya's heart stopped. Nephew? Marcus is my sister's son. She was Elias's mother. Helen's voice shook. I've been trying to stop Marcus for months, but he's careful, always one step ahead. Until you. I don't understand. The text was from me. I've been watching you, watching how you care for Elias, how you fought for him even after your past was exposed. Helen pulled out a folder. I have proof that Marcus orchestrated the entire evaluation. Forged my credentials, bribed actual court officials. But I can't use it alone. I need a witness willing to testify, knowing it will destroy their own reputation. Maya understood instantly. If I testify about Marcus's bribes, I have to admit I took his money. Admit I agreed to spy on Elias. Yes. The press will crucify you. You'll lose whatever career you've rebuilt. And Elias might never forgive the public humiliation. But he'll be free. He'll be free. Maya looked at the river, seeing her reflection fractured in dark water. Every choice in her life had led to this moment. The accident that killed a stranger. The desperation that made her take blood money. The love that made her human again. What do I have to do? Helen handed her the folder. Tomorrow morning, we go to the real police. You tell them everything. I corroborate with evidence. Marcus gets arrested for fraud, conspiracy, attempted kidnapping. And Elias? Released immediately once the warrant is proven fraudulent. Helen's eyes were kind. But Maya, you need to understand. He's going to hate what this costs you. He'll blame himself. Let him. As long as he's safe. They met at the police station at dawn. Maya gave her statement while cameras flashed outside, reporters smelling blood. By noon, the story had exploded. Convicted felon exposes billionaire's plot to institutionalize brother. The headlines painted Maya as both villain and hero, criminal and savior. Her phone filled with death threats and interview requests in equal measure. She ignored all of it. Elias was released at 3 o'clock. Maya watched from across the street as he walked out, Helen at his side, speaking urgently. He looked tired, broken, furious. His eyes found hers through the crowd. Maya turned and walked away. She made it 2 blocks before he caught her, grabbing her wrist, spinning her around. What the hell were you thinking? His voice was raw. Do you know what you've done? Your face is everywhere. People are calling you a gold digger, a con artist. I know. They're saying you manipulated me, that you orchestrated everything for publicity. I know. Maya. He shook her gently, desperately. Why would you destroy yourself for me? Because you'd have done the same. She touched his face, memorizing features she'd never see this close again. Because love isn't just the beautiful parts. It's the sacrifice. The price. The willingness to burn so someone else can breathe. Elias pulled her against him, crushing her in an embrace that felt like drowning in salvation. I don't deserve you. Nobody deserves anybody. We're all just broken pieces trying to fit together. Maya breathed him in, cedar and smoke. Marcus is being arraigned next week. Helen says the charges will stick. You'll get everything back. I don't care about the money or the house. He pulled back, eyes blazing. I care about you. Stay with me. We'll fix this together. There's nothing to fix. Maya smiled sadly. I told the truth. Finally. Completely. And it set both of us free. Then why does it feel like you're saying goodbye? Because I need to figure out who I am when I'm not running from my past. She kissed him softly. And you need to grieve properly. Your mother, your brother's betrayal, all of it. We met in each other's wreckage. We need to find ourselves in the healing. How long? I don't know. Elias's jaw clenched. What if I can't let you go? You don't have to. Just let me walk away for now. Maya stepped back, putting distance between them before her resolve shattered. When I'm ready, when I've rebuilt myself into someone I can respect, I'll come back. If you still want me. There's no if. His voice broke. I'll wait forever. Don't. Live your life. Finish grieving. Paint the library a different color. Adopt a dog. Travel somewhere you've never been. She backed away, tears streaming freely. Just promise me one thing. Anything. Forgive yourself. For the fire, for freezing, for being human. Your mother wouldn't want you carrying that weight. Elias nodded, unable to speak. Maya turned and walked into the morning sun, leaving him standing in ruins that would someday become foundation. 6 months later, she opened her own gallery. Small, modest, filled with portraits of broken things made beautiful again. The opening night was packed with strangers and second chances. She was closing up when the door chimed. Elias stood in the entrance, holding flowers and wearing a smile she'd never seen before. Real. Unguarded. Healing. You came back, Maya whispered. You said when you were ready. But I couldn't wait to see what you'd built. He crossed to her slowly. The gallery is incredible. You're incredible. I'm a work in progress. Aren't we all? He set down the flowers, taking her hands. I did what you said. Therapy, 3 times a week. Forgave myself, or started to. Turned the library into a music room. Got a rescue dog named Chaos who destroys everything. Maya laughed through tears. Sounds perfect. It's getting there. But it would be better with you. Elias cupped her face. I'm not asking you to fix me or save me. I'm asking if you want to build something new. Together. Messy and complicated and real. What about the past? The past made us who we are. But it doesn't get to decide who we become. He kissed her forehead, her cheeks, her lips. I love you. All of you. The mistakes, the scars, the criminal record, everything. I love you too. Maya pulled him closer. Even though you're still kind of a disaster. Takes one to know one. They stood in her gallery surrounded by portraits of resurrection, 2 people who'd burned everything down and learned to rise from ash. Outside, the city hummed with life and second chances. Inside, 2 ghosts became human again. Not because they saved each other. But because they chose each other. Every day. Despite everything. Because of everything. The end.